In the 1800s, Nebraska became a key passage to the American West. Thousands of people on the Oregon Trail crossed its plains, seeking uncertain opportunities and new beginnings. The journey brought no guarantees, only wide rivers, sudden storms, and terrain that tested even the most determined travellers. This part of the country shaped the course of westward expansion, a passage and an obstacle on the road to unfamiliar territories. Today, remnants of that turbulent era still remain. Toadtool Geologic Park reveals formations carved by countless centuries of erosion, where ancient sediments preserve stories far older than the wagon trains that once rolled through. Ogallala Old Town preserves the memory of early settlers who struggled to establish a foothold amid the rugged terrain. And looming in the distance, Chimney Rock served as a crucial waypoint, its silhouette a steady guide for those journeying into the unknown. Join us on a journey through Nebraska's best preserved places and hidden wonders, a state that surprises even those who think they know it well. Chimney Rock is a tall, isolated rock formation in western Nebraska, standing out in the landscape with its iconic spire shape. The formation is made of layers of clay, volcanic ash, and sandstone. Due to its distinctiveness, it was a key marker for people travelling west on the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails. Nearly 500,000 pioneers passed by, and emigrant diaries mention the formation than any other feature along these routes. Many travellers carved their names into its soft base, but these inscriptions have mostly disappeared due to erosion and vandalism. The bison at Fort Niobrara National Wildlife Refuge are a well-known herd representing one of the longest-running conservation efforts for this species. The refuge itself was established after the closure of a military fort to protect native wildlife and restore animals that once roamed the region in large numbers. The bison herd was introduced in 1913 by the American Bison Society at a time when the species was nearly wiped out due to hunting and habitat loss. However, fossils of extinct animals, including giant bison, have been found on the refuge, showing that bison have been part of this landscape for thousands of years. Every year, the bison are rounded up to monitor their health and genetics, with the excess donated to tribal groups, supporting cultural and ecological restoration efforts. During the breeding season, bulls become more active, bellowing, pawing the ground, and sometimes fighting for dominance within the herd. Rising prominently above the North Platte River in western Nebraska, Scotts Bluff National Monument is another large rock formation that was a key navigational point. It is named after Hiram Scott, a fur trader who was abandoned by his party while ill, but managed to crawl a great distance before finally passing away near the bluff. Its surrounding trails lead to overlooks and historic sites, including sections of the original Oregon Trail with visible wagon ruts. The Oregon Trail itself was a major route for settlers travelling west, stretching thousands of miles from Missouri to Oregon. It was used by farmers, miners, and families seeking new opportunities. The trail passed through varied terrain, including grasslands, river valleys, and mountain passes. Serving as the capital city of Nebraska, the city of Lincoln began as the village of Lancaster, founded on the salt marshes of what became Lancaster County. Early settlers were attracted by the availability of salt, which was important for preserving meat, though the salt mining in the area eventually became unprofitable. The city was renamed Lincoln after Abraham Lincoln when it was chosen as the new state capital, a move intended to make the capital more accessible to people living south of the Plat River. It quickly grew as a centre for government, education, and transportation. In fact, the new railroad set up in the late 1800s soon established it as a major rail hub, bringing new industries and a melting pot of a population, including vulgar German immigrants from Russia. In more recent years, it has also been recognised as a city that has welcomed refugees from around the world, evidently being a major resettlement site, with many languages spoken in its schools. Located within the city is the Nebraska State Capitol, recognised for its Art Deco style and central tower designed by Bertram Grosvenor Goodhue. Unlike most Capitol buildings, it does not have a traditional dome, but features a tall office tower, making it the second tallest state capitol building in the country. Additionally, it is topped by a bronze statue called the Sower that symbolises agriculture and was interestingly constructed in phases, thus paid for without incurring debt. The building is decorated with murals, mosaics and sculptures representing the region's history and culture. The observation deck offers panoramic views of Lincoln, and the grounds are carefully landscaped. West of Lincoln, there is the Great Plat River Road Archway Monument, also known as the Archway. It is a museum and monument spanning Interstate 80 near Kerry, created to tell the story of the Plat River Valley as a major route for westward migration and transportation. The monument is the only museum in the region built over a major interstate highway, requiring significant engineering to lift and position the structure above the road. Ogallala Old Town is known for its origins as a wild cow town at the end of the Texas Trail, where cattle from the south were driven north to meet the Union Pacific Railroad. Its name comes from the Oglala Sioux, with the word meaning to scatter one's own. The area was first a simple siding and water stop for trains, but it quickly became a major centre for cattle drives and commerce. It became known as Queen of the Cowtowns and was famous for its rowdy streets, saloons and gambling halls. Toadtool Geologic Park, located in the Oglala National Grassland, is known for its unusual rock formations that resemble giant mushrooms, which is how it got its name. Early settlers noticed these mushroom-shaped rocks and called them toadstools, a name that has remained ever since. They also tried to farm the land, but most could not succeed and eventually sold their land back to the government, leading to the creation of the National Grasslands. The park is often called the Badlands of Nebraska due to its rugged, barren landscape and eroded clay and sandstone formations. The region of Nebraska is known for its extensive production of corn and soybeans, cattle grazing on grasslands, and a variety of other crops and livestock. Agriculture is the leading industry, with most of the land dedicated to farming and ranching. The landscape varies from rolling hills and fertile valleys to expansive plains and the sandhills, each supporting different types of agricultural activity. The state is also recognised for its irrigation systems, especially centre pivot irrigation, which allows crops to thrive even in areas with less rainfall. Sunflower farms such as Simply Sunflower and Nelson Produce Farm are popular for their bright yellow fields and opportunities for visitors to pick their flowers. Its sunflowers are grown for oil and seeds, and the blooming season draws photographers and families. These fields are only in bloom for a few weeks each year, making visits a limited time event. Interestingly, they grow taller than visitors, creating maze-like paths through the fields. The windmills are another iconic feature in Nebraska's agricultural landscape, often found among soybean and other crop fields. They were essential for pumping water before modern electric pumps, though their design of agricultural windmills is distinct from modern wind turbines, with multi-bladed rotors and tall towers. These windmills allowed farmers to settle areas without natural water sources, supporting both crops and livestock. Today, the Kriegel Windmill Factory Museum preserves the history of windmill production in Nebraska City. Finally, cornfields are the most common agricultural feature in Nebraska, stretching for miles across the landscape. In fact, Nebraska is a leading producer of field corn, popcorn, and white corn. Corn is used for animal feed, ethanol, food products, and industrial uses. Since then, corn farming has evolved with technology, including GPS-guided tractors and advanced irrigation. Omaha is known as the Gateway to the West, a name rooted in its founding along the Missouri River at a key crossing point called Lone Tree Ferry. The city's name comes from the Omaha people, meaning upstream people, or those going against the wind or current. Established in the mid-1800s, the city quickly became a centre for transportation, railroads and commerce, later gaining fame for its stockyards and meatpacking industry, which at one point surpassed Chicago's in size. Its early days were marked by land speculation, the formation of the Omaha Claim Club to enforce property rights, and a period of rapid growth. Additionally, it is known historically to host the Trans-Mississippi Exposition, a World's Fair that introduced the city to a national audience. The city is also recognised for its jazz scene, producing musicians like Preston Love and Wynonie Harris. St. Cecilia Cathedral is a landmark of Omaha's Gold Coast Historic District, recognised for its Spanish Renaissance Revival architecture, which is a rare choice for cathedrals in the region. It is one of the largest cathedrals in the United States and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The Desert Dome is a signature feature of the Henry Dawley Zoo and Aquarium. It is the world's largest indoor desert, housed under the largest glazed geodesic dome. The dome contains ecosystems from the Namib, Sonoran, and Australian deserts, with a central mountain and rare plants and animals. The Bob Kerry Pedestrian Bridge is a cable-stayed footbridge spanning the Missouri River, connecting Omaha to Council Bluffs. Featuring a distinct S-curve design and length, it is popular for walking, biking, and bobbing standing in two states at once, The bridge is named after Senator Bob Kerry, who secured funding for its construction. Interestingly, visitors can earn a sticker for completing the 3,000-foot-long walk across the bridge. Joselyn Castle is a Scottish baronial-style mansion built by George and Sarah Joselyn, Omaha's first millionaires. Completed in the early 1900s, the 35-room mansion features formal gardens, a carriage house, and ornate interiors with influences from Art Nouveau, Art Deco, and Gothic styles. The Nebraska Sandhills are a region of mixed grass prairie and grass-stabilized sand dunes in north-central Nebraska. The area is known for its rolling hills, unique ecology, and extensive cattle ranching that has operated for generations. The Sandhills sit atop the Ogallala Aquifer, which supports numerous shallow lakes and wetlands scattered among the dunes. Buffalo Bill Ranch State Historical Park, also called Scouts Rest Ranch, is known as the home of William F. Buffalo Bill Cody, one of the most famous showmen, scouts, and buffalo hunters of the Old West. The park features the second Empire-style mansion built when Cody's Wild West show was at its peak popularity. It was the largest house in North Platte at the time and served as Cody's home from the late 1800s until the early 1900s. The Plat River is a wide, shallow waterway stretching across Nebraska, formed where the North Platte and South Platte rivers meet at the city of North Platte. It serves as a critical stopover for hundreds of thousands of Sandhill Cranes during their spring migration, one of the largest migrations in the world. The Sandhill Cranes are tall, grey birds with red crowns, known for their loud calls and elaborate courtship dances. Each spring, more than 1 million cranes stop along the Plat River to rest and feed before continuing to breeding grounds in Canada, Alaska, and Siberia. Cranes spend about a month in the region, feeding on waste corn and invertebrates to build up energy for their journey north. At night they roost in the shallow water, which provides safety from predators. Then thousands of them do a synchronized liftoff at sunset or sunrise, with their calls being heard for miles. Interestingly, fossil records show that Sandhill cranes have been present in Nebraska for over 9 million years, predating the river itself. Located at the confluence of the North and South Platte rivers is the city of North Platte. Founded as a railroad hub, it was the western terminus of the Union Pacific Railroad during its construction and remains a centre for railroading today. The city is also historically famous for the North Platte Canteen, a massive volunteer effort during World War II that served millions of servicemen passing through by train. It served over 6 million troops, all with volunteer help and donations. This is Nebraska, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Costa Rica, check out this video.